Hi, my name's Barnett. I'm the evangelism pastor in a large evangelical church in Sydney, Australia. On a regular basis on a Sunday we have around 1,200 people coming to our church. We minister in a context that within 10 kilometres from this church we've got around 500,000 people. So we've got a very big fishing area. And we try to reach people in all sorts of different situations, and so as a result of that we have many ministries to families, children, youth, young adults and many different cultures as well. When I came to this church in 2004, EE had been running for a number of years, but it had had its season and it stopped around 2000. Two of the reasons were, one, because of lack of visits, and the second reason was lack of trainees, people offering themselves to be trained in EE. A new season came when I arrived in 04 and we reintroduced it in 05, and we've been running with that since then. XEE being introduced when it did has really re-energised myself in evangelism, and it's brought the strength of the existing tool to today's Australia, and in particular with a strength in relational connection. And what I've noticed as I've trained people in the new tool of XEE, that people who are familiar with EE, people who have used it before, are finding a new level of energy to equip others and to see the gospel go forward in this way. And so this in particular, I feel, in my role as a pastor here, has taken all the strengths of EE and brought it to today's market. For us at Castle Hill, we are in a professional world. We have many people who own businesses, many people who are managing directors of companies, and for them to offer their time and energy, they need something that works really well, is very practical and easy to learn. We ran the field test on a Wednesday night, and we had around a dozen people come out every Wednesday night as we went on pre-organised, pre-arranged visits, OJT visits. That was a great strength of the new tool, and we saw people who'd been trained in EE be re-energised for that ministry. We saw many people's lives be impacted, and especially with the whole way XEE is run, with connecting life first and then sharing life. We've seen new relationships develop. Many of our trainees have been so well thought through by inviting the people they've seen to come to church on the Sunday, by meeting them at the church, and that's all come about through this XEE trial. We've seen people come to faith through this ministry. We've seen people really get the sense about there is more to life than what they're doing. And so the life question that we ask, which is on a scale of 1 to 10, has been really helpful for us to engage with people. Australia and the world has changed in terms of how we function and how we live. While more and more people who don't know Christ are very technically savvy, we are spending our life on Facebook, through text messaging, on MySpace and all those tools. People are more and more crying out for relationships, genuine ways to connect with people. A tool like XEE helps us right up front to have strong relationships. It teaches people how to connect well with people, and because of that it's going to allow greater fruit, I think, for the kingdom of God long term. XEE will have one of the most significant ministries in the next 5 to 10 years in Australia than the last 30 to 40 years, because Australia is changing so much. And I would think that if we don't get on board with this now, that EE itself will struggle to take hold of the current Australia and the people and where they're at. Equipping is so crucial, visiting people is crucial, and all the elements of EE, but XEE brings it back into today's marketplace and actually helps people and other churches grab hold of it, and that has certainly been our experience here in Castle Hill. I have learnt from the history of EE that Dr. Kennedy was very passionate about reaching people of his culture and the generations to come. Just as that was the case 30 to 40 years ago, it is still the case today. And I believe XEE honours with integrity all the work that EE has done and brings it into today's world.